Hey, how's it going, guys? Today, we are in the Emerald Nightmare. Now, this is a raid in the Legion expansion. Right now, though, I am, of course, in the Legion beta, and I am doing this on LFR. I just figured, I'd do the raid just so when the actual raid hits on Legion, you guys will have videos that you can just kind of look to just to see what the mechanics are going to be like. Now, of course, because this is beta, some things may change. There may be higher damage, lower damage, so take this whole video with a grain of salt. I will cut to a few times to when I'm going to a different area of the raid, just because it isn't, just running forward and you'll get to each boss. You have to kind of like backtrack, go through some portals. It's a whole thing. I won't talk during it, but I will at least show it so it's not confusing. And so if nobody in the raid knows what the hell they're doing, at least you will. Alright, so we are on to the first boss of this set, Ursoc. Ursoc tramples his enemies with barreling impact and periodically roars for a roaring... What the fuck is that even? I don't even know. Not even going to try to pronounce it. Damage dealers, when not afflicted with momentum, stand in Ursoc's path when he uses focused gaze to reduce the amount of damage barreling impact afflicts. Or inflicts. I can't talk today, apparently. There was the impact, by the way. Get as far away from Ursoc as possible when the target of focused gaze to reduce the damage taken from trampling slam. Healers, when not afflicted with momentum, stand in Ursoc's path. It's the same thing as damage dealers, so apparently you don't have to worry about anything else. And then tanks, ensure that no tank overlaps the effects of both Overwhelm and Rend Flesh at the same time, taunting when necessary, switching off which tanks holds Ursoc's attention for Overwhelm and Rend Flesh each time he charges. I do not know what the hell is going on today, but apparently I cannot speak. So I'm not going to show the whole fight. There was the attack again. So you want to try to watch out. Again, this is LFR, and nobody ever intercepts it, I don't think, and we still don't wipe. This video is just basically for mechanics, and after, a certain amount, I'm just going to cut the fight, because you guys don't really need to see it. Unless, of course, in the future you do want to see it, then I'll show more of the, raid tiers in LFR. This is the second one. I apparently missed the first one. So this is like boss 4, 5, and 6 from the Emerald Nightmare. Just to let you guys know. But we're going to go ahead and jump to the second boss. Or actually, we're going to jump to the end of this video, or the end of this boss, just so you can see his enrage, and then we'll jump to the next boss. Alright, so he just went into Blood Frenzy, which at, like 25% health, as you can see, attack speed and damage dealt. So you want to kind of nuke him from here. You may want to save your Time Warp or whatever for this phase in like normal and stuff. But we popped at the beginning because LFR, there is no communication. And there's a lag spike apparently, I forgot that happened. There's going to be a couple of those because my laptop kind of shits out on me whenever I'm doing any kind of raids, basically.
This was the Emerald Dreamway. During my long slumber, it was here I communed with the green dragonflight. Now, this sacred place has been made into a conduit for the nightmare to spread its corruption. This we cannot allow.
Alright, we are on to Dragons of Nightmare. Sandra shares health with Emerus, Lethon, and Terrar. She begins the fight alongside the nightmare of one of her former cohorts. When Sandra reaches 70% remaining health, the nightmare takes to the skies and a new one emerges from a nearby portal. Upon reaching 40% health, the nightmare dragon in the air lands and the one on the ground will take flight. Damage dealers. Be sure to switch targets to prevent slumbering nightmare from triggering try not to stand directly behind the dragons so as not to be struck by Tail Lash, which, hey, look what I'm doing, standing right behind a fucking dragon. Don't do that, don't be stupid, like I am. And then stand within the Nightmare Bloom to prevent Dread Horrors from spawning, which is that little plant right there. It does do damage over time, but it's like 8,000, I think it is. It's like nothing. And yeah, 87,000. My bad, that's still nothing in this expansion. Even if you don't, the ads are super easy to kill, so this is LFR, who gives a fuck, right? Healers, be sure to switch targets to prevent Slumbering Nightmare, same thing. Quickly dispel Defiled Vines from allies so that they can escape the resulting Defiled Eruption, and then stand within the Nightmare Bloom. And then tanks, you want to also be sure to switch targets to prevent the Slumbering Nightmare, and face the dragons away from allies so they do not get hit by Corrupted Breath. Now, as you can see right here, I do switch targets, and I have like 1 stack of the gray and 7 stacks of the green. And I was switching targets at like 9 stacks, but I still ended up going to sleep at some points in time. So I was kind of really confused. But just, switch at like, I guess, you'd probably want to switch at like maybe 7 or 8 stacks, just because you could accidentally AoE another dragon if you're at 9, and hit your, other stacks to get the slumbering nightmare. So just, be careful of that. Kill the ads when they pop up. Boss fight isn't really too hard. We're going to go ahead and go to the next one.
Behold, the iris opens. The way to Cenarius is clear. Moonglade is the most sacred place in all the dream.
Alright, we are to the final boss of this little tier in LFR. We are on Cenarius. The fallen Cenarius periodically creates Nightmare Seeds, which germinate for a short duration and then summons an ally of Nightmare that must be defeated. Malfurion aids in the battle and cleanses the Nightmare Seed with the largest number of nearby players, purifying that ally so that it instead helps the raid. Damage dealers. Interrupt Twisted Touch of Life, cast by the Twisted Sister. Defeat the Rotten Drakes before Nightmare Buffet becomes lethal. Use Malfurion's Cleansed Ground to avoid damage from Creeping Nightmares. And Malfurion's Cleansed Ground fully clears stacks of Creeping Nightmares from any player near the chosen target. That green stuff right there is what you want to stand in. At first I thought it was bad. It's not. This is like the one raid where standing in green is actually good. Healers. The Nightmare Drake's Nightmare Buffet does deal heavy raid damage, so be careful for that in case nobody kills it. And then use Malfurion's Cleansed Ground to erase your Creeping Nightmare. And tanks, be mindful of Dread Thorns when positioning Cenarius, that way you don't get rooted. Be quick to grab the attention of Forces of Nightmare as they spawn, and then use the ground to clean yourself. Pretty simple. Now we do actually end up almost dying here. There's a couple times I thought of using Commanding Shout, but I didn't. Pretty easy. There's the Corrupted Emerald Egg, and then everybody stands there eventually, and there's the green, which you then stand in, get rid of your stacks, which I had 20 of them, so watch out for that. You can get stacked pretty high. And we only had one Corrupted Sister, there she is right there, or Twisted Sister, spawn, and unfortunately it was like near the end of the fight. I almost died there. And nobody wanted to attack her. I swear it was like me and like maybe a couple other people, and then I was stupid and ran through the roots. So you may end up wiping if nobody interrupts it. I interrupted it, but like a 12-second cooldown isn't that great. So I'm going to go ahead and jump out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. When the next raid tier for LFR opens up, I will be doing that one. Hopefully the first one opens up so I can also do that. If you want to see any other videos, WoW Legion Beta, live, let me know. And sometime tonight, tomorrow morning, I'm going to be putting up hopefully a video of Dead by Daylight, I think it is, that I bought off of Steam. Just because I thought it was a pretty cool game, and I don't want to get stuck just doing WoW videos, because who knows how much longer WoW has, let's be honest. Hopefully Legion brings it back though. So if you want to see any other game besides WoW, also let me know. But until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all later.